New game trailers are released every day. They normally show us a game that's set to be released in the future, or updates and DLC for games that are already out in the world right now. It's easy to miss them if you don't go looking, so why not showcase the new trailers as they're being released? That way we can wishlist them or buy them and show support for any games that we want to play in the future. Drop a comment below if any of these new games are up your alley, and with that being said, let's start the show. Starting us off here with a classic that became a hit around the schoolyards, something that made all of us watch over our shoulder: Slender Man. Slender the Arrival originally was released in 2013, and with the remastered version already being released last year for the 10th anniversary, Slender the Arrival is being taken to the VR world. Slender the Arrival VR will have you place the headset on as you follow through the same game that has already been released. You'll need to discover more about the world that Slender Man calls home and attempt to survive as you're being tracked by the legend themselves. I still remember playing Slender the 8 Pages originally, and back then I was so scared. Seeing the screen go all blurry, knowing you were about to get grabbed. I never did finish the game, but maybe it's time that I jump straight back in with the headset on this time. Sail Forth is a game that has already been released. It originally came out back in December 2022. The game has you sailing across multiple different oceans and enjoying the fresh air while searching for lost treasure that may hold the key to answers that were lost before your time. The game, after celebrating its 2-year anniversary, has just announced its Maelstrom DLC, which unlocks a whole heap of new items and events within the game. New cosmetics added, which can now be equipped to multiple different parts of your ship, as they have completely overhauled the ship customization. The underworld can now be explored as you travel under the sea itself towards the home of the Wormkin, an area that changes daily and one that you'll never truly understand. Sail Forth is still getting updates and currently sits at 93% rating on Steam. It definitely deserves more players, and hopefully the DLC can bring in any castaways and pirates aboard. Last Time I Saw You is an upcoming coming-of-age narrative story set around love and acceptance. You'll play as Ayumi, a young boy on a journey of self-discovery as he takes his first steps into adulthood, whilst confronting the curse that affects his hometown. The game is completely hand-drawn and has a beautiful and soothing atmosphere set around a vibrantly reimagined version of a late 80s Japan. The Last Time I Saw You will offer a whole heap of content for us to play through. The game will follow the main narrative, but multiple side quests and the whole village to explore will keep us coming back for more. It seems like multiple long-running games are getting sequels these days, and I guess we just never know what to expect. So the next game that very much took me by surprise when it popped up on my screen is Smite 2, the third-person MOBA that has been a staple in the mobile genre for the last few years now. You play as gods from different mythologies that all have unique abilities and different roles that you'll play in this battle of the gods. You may know many of the gods within the game already, but with over 100 different gods, I'm sure you might find one or two that you've never seen before. The game can be played with keyboard and mouse, controller, and even handheld, as it's playable on multiple different consoles. You can be playing as Zeus on your computer, while your friend plays Thor on the Xbox. As I said, this one truly took me by surprise. The sequel more or less will be the same game, but with better graphics now that it's on Unreal Engine 5, and more gameplay options compared to the first. I think I'm going to head down to the arena to start practicing. Moving on to Digested, a short survival horror which, instead of a typical first-person camera, you'll be playing from the perspective of a body cam, so you'll be in a first-person view with a third-person character model. You can look in front of you, and then a moment later, you can decide to look over your shoulder if you wanted to, and I just find that so cool. It's something very different and I like it. You'll need to move fast around this open world area, taking your time to look around, but also having to move fast enough from the threat that's behind you. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned this a little earlier. There is a massive giant snake after you. I don't think Parseltongue will save you in this game. The snake will be following you around, trying to make you stumble, and if that happens, let's just say you'll probably be starting the game over again. Snakes are a massive phobia for a lot of people, so I can see why this would be terrifying. The game will be on the shorter side, and that normally plays well for these types of horror games. I really do hope this one slithers out to success. I still remember getting Helldivers on PlayStation Plus in 2016. I really enjoyed the first game, but sadly I always felt like it didn't have the player count at times. So I'm super excited to see the game is getting a sequel, and it's so different to the first one that it might as well just be a separate game at this point. Helldivers 2 will be a third-person action shooter that will put you in the shoes of the galaxy's last line of defense against the hordes of enemies that have humanity as its target. You and a group of up to 4 people will need to jump into specially assigned tasks, with pushing the enemy back and hopefully saving humanity for another day. You'll need to capture planets and wipe out all the creepy crawlies that are trying to kill you. Once you've secured the planet, it isn't as simple as moving along. You'll still need to come back to defend it in case a hive breaks out and tries to claim it once again. This will be a fantastic co-op game, as you'll need to work together to ensure a safer tomorrow. That might as well be the tagline for the game if it doesn't have one already. Next up we have an already released game, Withering Rooms. Originally released in October 2022, this game is a 2.5D horror RPG set within a procedurally generated Victorian mansion that changes each and every night. The game has been in early access since release, and has just released the Bloody Man update, and yeah, that just makes the game seem pretty creepy. The update has added new enemies in different parts of the map, a new system for checking out your stats instead of having to look around for them, and a bunch of little updates and fixes. Withering Rooms is a ultimate hidden gem of a game, currently at 97% rating on Steam, which is crazy. It just never reached a wider audience. It's kind of giving me a Metrovania style gameplay, with a map that you have to explore, and you having to be the one to find your way around. It's fully playable on Steam Deck as well, and I believe that would just be a fantastic way to play the game. Final game on the list is Lotus Lantern, Rescue Mother, a top-down roguelike which is inspired by Chinese mythology. You'll need to set out on a journey to save your mother after being trained by Sun Wukong themselves. That's pretty cool. You'll need to find which combinations of skills and abilities work best together as you play through an adventure that you'll have never expected. Fight through giant bosses, discover hidden rooms, and get to the end to save the one that's closest to you. This is fully giving me Hades, but with a Chinese mythology instead of Greek. I'm pretty sure everyone I've ever spoke to loves Hades, so if you're a fan of that game, I'd say this one's right down your street. And that is the end of the games this week that have had new releases of trailers. Plenty of horror games and games regarding mythology, so hopefully you like the look of one of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.